Hi, and welcome to today's math lesson. Today we're going to focus on area. To find the area of a shape means you're simply calculating the amount of space a shape takes up. Area is calculated in square units. This is an example of a square unit. All the sides are the same length, and the more square units that a shape covers, the larger the area. If the shape's side lengths are measured in feet, the area will be calculated in square feet. If the shape's side lengths are measured in kilometers, the area will be calculated in square kilometers. Just remember area squarea if you get confused. Finding the area can be a tricky task when dealing with non-rectilinear and irregular shapes, shapes that don't have 90-degree angles. For example, this irregular hexagon might pose a challenge. You might need to use a pre-measured standard grid and count the squares to find the area. On this grid, every square is 1 square centimeter. So if I place the grid over the shape, I'll be able to count all the whole squares, and then also the squares around the edges I would have to kind of combine. For instance, these two squares would combine to make one whole square. And then you have these little slivers, and that poses a problem. So it's really tricky to get an exact answer. Usually it's just an estimate of the area when you do it this way, when you're dealing with these kind of shapes. So it's much easier to find the area of shapes that have 90-degree angles, like rectangles, and that's what we're really going to focus on today. Now, you can use that same method to calculate the area of a rectangle. I could take my grid paper and place it over, and then I could just count the squares and find the area. Another way to do it might be to use tiles. You can take a tile and then put another tile right next to it, making sure not to leave any spaces and have everything lined up perfectly. So as you can see, if I were to attempt to tile this entire rectangle, I'd be here for a while. So that makes this not a very efficient way to find the area of the rectangle. It'll be accurate, but not very quick. So lucky for us, there's an even better way to find the area. And what you have to do first is find the dimensions of the rectangle. So I'm going to take my giant ruler and I'm going to put it right here. And I measured that length. It's 8 centimeters. So it has a width of 8 centimeters. Now I'm going to tilt it this way and measure down, and that's 4 centimeters. So I found the dimensions of my rectangle are 8 and 4. Now keep in mind, the opposite side will also be 8. If this side's 8, this side is 8. If this side is 4, this side is 4. So for a rectangle, if I just simply do the width, and I multiply it by the length, 8 times 4, that is my area, length times width. So 8 times 4 equals 32. Now, the way that I would write that would be 32 square centimeters. That's the area of that rectangle. If I would count all these little squares in here, I would find it, I count 32 square centimeters. So now let's try it with one more. This time, the side lengths are already given. So I simply have to do 6 times 4. And if I know my facts, I know 6 times 4 is 24 square, and this is in feet this time. So 6 times 4 equals 24. And that's how you find the area.